Hi. Thanks for tuning into the Tom Patelson Show. You saw the link. My top 5 favorite board games in no particular order, except they're kind of absolutely in an order. Number 5, Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, by Gary Grady, Susan Goldberg, and Raymond Edwards. Produced by Asmodee Games, a cooperative game of 1 to 8 players of 12 and up. This is hands down my favorite mystery-solving game of all time. It's great for you and your friends to huddle around a table to play as you play assistance to Sherlock Holmes himself. It is my favorite mystery game since my childhood favorite of Clue.
I'm very bad at dumb things. Ticking boxes, running around, searching all the rooms. It's just a terrible, terrible game.
In Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, you and your friends are friends of the detective, attempting to solve the mystery at the same time as Holmes himself. You'll traverse London, visiting locations of possible suspects, which will correspond to pages in the mystery you've chosen, and you'll read out loud to your team what those people said, where they were, how they're involved, which might lead to another clue to another location and another block of text to lead you to finding the criminal or criminals. And every mission has a corresponding newspaper which you can search for clues. At the end of the game, which is when you feel ready, you'll answer all of the whodunit questions in the back of your mystery. And if you did it in less time than Sherlock, or by visiting less locations than him, you'll win. Newsflash. You're not going to win, you're never going to win. Never win this game. He's Sherlock Holmes. You will never do it in less time. It'd be annoying and frustrating and fun. This is such a good fun game. There's 10 mysteries in the box. Each mystery takes about 2+ hours to play. And as many people as you can gather around your table is as many people who can play the game. You'll just be passing the book back and forth and figuring stuff out on the map. It's fun, it's exciting, it's the best deductive game ever. And it is number 5, Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. Number 4, Zombicide Invader, by Raphael Guiton, Jean-Baptiste Lulien, and Nicholas Rout. And my apologies if I butchered those names just now. It's from Sémø Games, or Cool Many or Not, or Come On Games, a cooperative game of 1 to 6 players for 14 and up. It's zombies in space, people. It's fighting off xenomorphs where you're trying to complete objectives to complete your chosen chapter. You're trapped in space, but you've got weapons and skills. In this cooperative game, you'll be operating as a team as you search the space station, headed for your exit, looking for weapons and gear, wasting zombies several at a time, upgrading your character's abilities while you try and discover objectives you'll need to win. And every single turn, the Xenos move, or attack, or both, and then more Xenos appear. There's 11 missions in the book, which includes 1 introductory mission, and Sémø's website has more missions available for free. They come up with new ones all the time. And yes, some of the cardboard components I've upgraded to plastic miniatures from Etsy, which I'll include in the description. Oh, Zombicide in all of its incarnations really captures the zombie genre of feeling overwhelmed and to a state of panic. It's the best part in every game of Zombicide when one person playing goes, "We're never going to make it. We are never getting out of here. It's too many. We're never getting out of here alive." And if space ain't your jam, try the original Zombicide now in its 2nd edition, which is set in modern times, or try Black Plague or Green Horde, which is set in medieval times, or Night of the Living Dead Zombicide, which is set to play in the George A. Romero's classic film, or Wanted Dead or Alive, where you play with Wild West zombies, which I'm totally going to buy, by the way. I need to paint those miniatures, absolutely. Whatever way you want to fight the zombies, there's a Zombicide for you. But my number 4, Zombicide Invader. Number 3, Cthulhu Death May Die, by Rob Daviau and Eric Lang for Sémø Games, a cooperative game of 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. In Cthulhu Death May Die, every game is a combination of 2 things: picking an episode and then picking an Elder One to defeat. Every episode concerns the stopping of a ritual to invoke the Elder One, like Cthulhu himself, from H.P. Lovecraft's signature baddie, Call of Cthulhu. Bringing him into existence, then you have to defeat them once they arrive on the board. So, stop the ritual, defeat the Elder One. Every game has these 2 steps to win. There are 6 episodes and 2 Elder Ones in the base game, which allows for a lot of replay. Plus, there are expansions and Kickstarter exclusives, which I own, which add more minis, episodes, and Elder Ones, and I haven't played anywhere near the amount of different variations. It's a battle to fight off going insane, while simultaneously gaining new abilities to help you in your cause. But if you reach the end of your insanity track, or if one of your investigator team dies before the Elder One arrives on the board, you lose. If all the investigators go mad or die, you lose. Or if you run out of time after the Elder One enters the world, you lose. It's a hard game, but it's not impossible to beat. It is appropriately hard. That's important in a co-op game, and a lot of my games are cooperative playing games. It needs to feel like you're really doing something so that when you win, it is all the more glorious. Cthulhu Death May Die has 45 miniatures in the base game box, and there are expansions and Kickstarter exclusives, and there's so much more to jump in on. But seriously, fantastic. Number 3 is Cthulhu Death May Die. Number 2. Tiny Epic Galaxies with the Beyond the Black expansion by Scott Holmes for Gamelin Games. For 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, it's tiny, it's epic, it's a big competitive space game in 2 tiny boxes. In Tiny Epic Galaxies, you'll play as the commander of your own galaxy. Every turn, you'll roll dice and activate them to launch your ships, land on planets, acquire resources, move along the colonization tracks of planets to incorporate them into your own galaxy. And with the expansion, you'll hire pilots to fly specially allocated ships with those pilots' unique ability to help you expand your galaxy's influence, or explore deep space and encounter hazards and new planets. Tiny Epic Galaxies is my favorite Tiny Epic game, but hats off to Tiny Epic Zombies. I love Tiny Epic Zombies. Galaxies has so much in a small box, and it's everything I'm looking for in a space game. There are many reasons, but first, it's a beautiful design. I love the little ships. It looks great on the table. It's bright and colorful and gives great vibes of traveling through space. And that kind of make-believe is what I'm looking for. And it has great game mechanics. It's not hard to learn. It's ever-changing. Every time you colonize a planet from the Big Planet deck, you gain an ability which you can activate. And every pilot has its own unique ability. Now, space games. I do own Star Trek Ascendancy, and I haven't played it yet. I've had it for a little while. I've not gotten it to the table. I haven't had a chance to play it, which is why it's not on my list, but I have no doubt it will be on my list. But for right now, Tiny Epic Galaxies with the Beyond the Black expansion is my favorite space game, and it's number 2. Number 1, Eldritch Horror, designed by Corey Konitska and Nikki Valance for Fantasy Flight Games. 1 to 8 players, but the sweet spot is 3 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Yeah, it's time to battle Cthulhu and his minions again in playing what I like to call the closest game to playing Indiana Jones. In Eldritch Horror, you and your friends play a team of investigators, globe-trotting the planet, searching for clues, acquiring weapons, spells, and abilities while you skirt disaster with the turn of every card as you try to complete mystery cards before an Elder One can be born into the world. And yes, being my favorite game, I've pimped the components and replaced the cardboard standees and tokens with minis or plastic upgrades from Etsy. It's what I do with games I love. Fight monsters, gain allies as you work together as a team. There are several expansions for Eldritch, which adds more cards, more monsters, more Elder Ones, more maps, more game mechanics, and every card has what the gaming community refers to as flavor text. Creepy storylines, which really helps you delve into the theme of the game, which is the world's coming to an end, and you have to stop it from happening. I've played Eldritch Horror countless times, over 50 maybe, and I've won it 3 or 4, I think. It's not appropriately hard, it's ridiculously hard. And if you play with more than 3 or 4 players, you'll never win. You will absolutely never win. It is so hard, and a lot of it relies on chance. The game gets a bad rap for having too much chance, and I don't care. It's what I want in my big, scary, world coming to an end type of game. I want the big experience, and this one delivers every single time. It never fails. And it is my favorite, and it is #1, Eldritch Horror. Time for a shout out. This one comes from my wedding officiant video. Mark Rodriguez, my buddy Mark, says, "Love my Sunday mornings with a cup of joe and the Tom Patelson show." What a cool job to officiate weddings. It is a cool job. It is rewarding and wonderful, and I just kind of fell into it. Here's a question for you. Mark asks, what do you think the future of superheroes will look like? I'm going to answer that with a full-on video. I love this question and delving into that, because we all know I love that pop culture genre, and I love my Marvel, my DC. I love all the independent stuff. I'm big on comics. I love comic book movies. I wonder what the future of superheroes will look like. Thanks, Mark. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to let you know when my stuff drops. It drops on Sundays. And comment on what games I missed. What board games are you playing that I should be playing? What hobby do you like that I'm not talking about? And if anybody's into Warhammer 40K, somebody chime in with that. I would love to get involved in that hobby. I don't know enough about it, but I love the miniatures and I'd love to play that. That'd be fantastic. But once again, like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. And as always, my friends, peace, love, live long and prosper. And I mean that.